Are you serious? Are you serious? Guys, we're very serious. We have an urgent message sent to us in an email about 30 minutes ago from Mike from around the world. Now, he rarely does this. And if he does, it's take it very serious. And he has just sent an urgent message. So I'm going to share that with you in just a second. Let me first put out a shout. Also, I've got a concern, I guess, from Agent 2020 that's also just developing. So let me tell you about both these. These are both just in. These are just in. And I'll tell you in just a second. First of all, let me put a shout out, folks, if I can, to www.agewithpaul.com. That's www.agewithpaul.com. Ancient civilizations have already discovered that solutions to the modern day problems that we're still trying to solve. One of those secrets being maybe the fountain of youth, they call it. Anyway, it's a spice called turmeric. Now, this is why I love turmeric, because if you just go to www.agewithpaul.com, go to agewithpaul.com. BioTrust has created a formula where they take turmeric extracts that's 46 times. What? 46 times better absorbent in your body than the standard turmeric powder or turmeric spice. It's insane. It's incredible. And I've noticed that my skin is looking the best it has in years. How can this be? Could it be that www.agewithpaul.com, that's www.agewithpaul.com, they've sold almost 2 million bottles of this. Are you serious? Are you serious? Why would so many people want it? Because it's working. Again, that's www.agewithpaul, www.agewithpaul.com. Okay, everybody's gathering in with me right now. We do have, give me 1 second. We do have two. These things are just in. One is an email from Mike from around the world, who rarely sends an email unless something is absolutely urgent and has to be discussed out there. And he wants it spoken on. He sent this about an hour ago from Mike from around the world. And here's what his concern is. And this is based on information that he has that the general public does not have yet. Okay. It says, hello and God bless. Pray for those who are in and near Peru and Chile. Let me read that again. Pray for those who are in and near Peru and Chile. They don't have an early warning indicators of the Nazca plate and its instabilities. At present, the South American plate and the Nazca plate are under enormous strain. God bless you always, Michael. So, Mike around the world has just sent this email. Again, I want to read this. Very urgent. This just in. Thank you. Someone said, Pastor, your shirt is absolutely beautiful. If you've seen the whole thing, you really would say that it is really gorgeous. It's a Hawaiian shirt. But anyway, back to this. Here's what Mike around the world is saying. Hello and God bless. He sent this to Heidi and I. He says, pray for those who are in and near Peru and Chile. I read it again. Urgent. Pray for those who are in and near Peru and Chile. They don't have an early warning indicators of the Nazca plate instabilities. At present, the South American plate and the Nazca plate are under enormous strain. God bless you always, Mike from around the world. So we need to pray without ceasing. You're right. Beautiful story. You are so right about that. Please pray for them. In lieu of the fact that we had a 7-point earthquake hit the Philippines, what is that, 3 days ago? 7.4 hit the South Sandwich Islands. 6.9 hitting Alaska this morning. 7.2 destroying Hawaii this morning. The death toll is rising rapidly. The buildings are crumbling everywhere and collapsing. And they are anticipating thousands of people dead and tens of thousands injured. It is too early to even know how close we are going to be to the understanding the death toll here. It is incredible. And besides Haiti going through this, they had an assassination of their president about a month ago, and rebels have been running loose in the country, and chaos is starting, and there's nobody in charge. And Hurricane Grace is headed right toward Haiti and will probably hit Monday evening, Tuesday morning, on top of the misery, the hell that's in Haiti. We need to pray for those folks. And Mike from around the world is concerned because he's looked at the tectonic plates and he sees that we have a time bomb. We have an instability. We have enormous pressure down there in South America that could cause a mega quake that could hit Peru, Chile, in that area. Now, I'm just before I tell you about Agent 2020's warning, I want to check the earthquake map just for a second. And so you'll know, since I last did a video on the earthquakes, we have had a 4.6 earthquake in Peru. We've had a 4.6 in Peru. We've had a 2.8 in Wheeler, Texas, 2.8 Hawaii, 2.5 Adler Springs, California, 2.5 Hawaii, 4.2 Greece, 2.6 Adler Springs, California, 3.9 experimental explosion, Beverly Beach, Florida, 3.9 earthquake. Really strange to have an earthquake on the on the East Coast, on the Atlantic coast of Florida. That's crazy. A 2.5 in Adler Springs, California, 3.9 in Alaska, and we just had a 3.9 in Bosnia, Bosnia, Herzegovina. You guys know where the place is. And so anyway, you got all these Haiti and all these Alaska aftershocks that have been just rocking the world, and South Sandwich Islands, and the Philippines had a quake. All of the areas, the hot spots. And now Mike is saying, you better keep your eye on these nations right here. And oh, by the way, we also have had 5.2 South Sandwich Islands just a few minutes ago, 5.6 South Sandwich Islands, 5.2, all of these three in the South Sandwich Islands. Even a 4.6 hit India, 5.1 hit Argentina. That's very close to the very area that Mike from the World's talking about. And 5.2 South Sandwich Island region, 5.0 Indonesia, 5.1 South Sandwich Island, and on and on and on. So quakes are shaking and quaking. There's been 83 earthquakes in the last 24 hours, with a lot of them over 5, plus the 6.9 in Alaska and the 7-point deadly quake, horrible quake situation in Haiti. So prayers are going out everywhere right now for these situations that are developing. And we want to thank Mike from around the world for actually sending us this private email, but he wanted us to let the world know. That's what it was. He wanted us to let the world know that this is a dangerous situation. And yeah, check with Dutch Sense. You're right. Check with Dutch Sense because he's covering these. And also check with Mr. MBB 333. He's also covering these quakes and the significance of them. So these guys have got it on high alert. We've been covering it all day. Now, we have more. This news just in, a second thing to talk about. We want to thank Agent 2020 for getting this to us. This is from the Homeland Security, a warning from the Homeland Security. Department of Homeland Security has issued a new national advisory on terrorism on August 13th, which was yesterday, right at midnight. The Secretary of Homeland Security issued a new national terrorism advisory system regarding the heightened threat environment across the United States. The threat of environment to the homeland is diverse and challenging, especially leading up and following the 20th anniversary of 9/11 and its terror attacks, as well as the religious holidays that could serve as a catalyst for targeted violence. Well, what religious holidays are we talking about? We're talking about the feast of, we're talking about Rosh Hashanah. We're talking about the Feast of Trumpets, the Feast of the Day of Atonement, and the Feast of Tabernacles, the Fall Feast period. Now, that's all Jewish feast religious holidays, but those holidays are could be used as an excuse for some groups to target with terrorism. Now, threats in the homeland include those posed by domestic terrorists, individuals and groups engaged in grievance-based violence, those inspired by, motivated by foreign terrorists and other malign foreign influences. These actors are increasingly exploiting online forums to influence and spread violent extremist narratives and promote violent activity. And this bulletin builds on the bulletins issued previously by the Department of Homeland Security. So they're trying to blend a lot of things into one advisory. They're trying to blend different types of potential domestic terrorism into one warning. But really, folks, what they're really concerned about, the real threat, is the 20th anniversary of 9/11, especially when we're looking and watching the Taliban in Afghanistan right now taking 2/3 of that country over in less than 60 days. We haven't even got our people out of the embassy in Kabul yet, and the Taliban has taken over 2/3 of the nation. How did they do it? Where did they get their armored vehicles? Where did they get their rocket launchers? Where did they get their rockets? Where did they get their guns? Where did they get their ammo? Where did they get their supplies? What Jeeps and Humvees are they driving? Where did they get all of their medical supplies and equipment for warfare to launch a nationwide assault and in less than 60 days take away what was built in 20 years? Somebody explain it to me. Who is funding this? Is this a repeat of what happened when President Obama withdrew the troops out of Iraq in 2014 and left tons of equipment for ISIS to pick up and roll through Iraq and Syria? Are we seeing a repeat with the Biden administration? And is this all? Look, now we're sending, we're sending 5,000 troops back just to get our staff out of the embassy in Kabul. If that was the case, why didn't you take them out first? I don't know what they were thinking. But anyway, these are the two concerns. First one coming from, it's a repeat. Thank you, Kevin Barnes. It is. It's a repeat. It's like we're just watching it. It's like we're just watching the Obama administration pick back up where it left off at 2.0 here. It really is. Just instead of Iraq, now it's Afghanistan. It's the same repeat. It's insane. I can't believe it. But so anyway, these are two major warnings. Keep this in mind. Pray for the people in Peru and Chile, as Mike Run the World has issued a major concern in a private email that he sent to Heidi and I. And here's what it says. Hello and God bless. Pray for those who are in and near Peru and Chile. They don't have an early warning indicators of the Nazca Plate instabilities. At present, the South American Plate and the Nazca Plate are under enormous strain. God bless you always, Mike from around the world. So we just received that. He rarely does this. He rarely sends them like that. So for him to send something like this means urgent, urgent, urgent. So keep this in mind, guys. Get the prayer warriors out there. God bless all of you. Thank you all for being with us. And just keep looking up for, your redemption is drawing nigh. I want to thank 1,000 of you showing up here spontaneously for the 5th time today as I've gone live for breaking news updates. Thank you for showing up. Now, let me just tell you that tomorrow I will be, Lord willing, I will be preaching at Freedom Fellowship here in the Villages. Freedom Fellowship, of course, located at the Big Tent. What? The Big Tent, the Florida outpouring. And it's been pouring rain again. But the Florida outpouring in the morning, service begins at 9:30 a.m. because we want to beat the heat. So be there at 9:30 a.m. We're going to have a powerful time. I promise you, the Lord is going to move. I'm coming off of, the illness I had and Heidi had. We both come through it. And of course, Pastor Melvin Whittington coming through it, the COVID as well, and how that he came out of the hospital and is back on his feet. And the good people over at Freedom Fellowship looking forward to a great time of praise and worship and anointing, that the power of God will fall. Get ready for the greatest move of God maybe ever to hit the state of Florida. You might say, that's insane. They've had some big revivals. They have. But I'm telling you, God is up to something enormous. And I believe that the tent and right on into the new building that will come right after, all of this is part of a revival move to the epicenter of revival to spread across the world. There are revivals breaking out in California. There are revivals breaking out in different parts of the world. And God is doing something amazing. And right here online, we have seen people being saved on a daily basis. Why? Because Jesus Christ is coming soon. Jesus of Nazareth is coming soon. So don't miss it. Be there live at Freedom Fellowship in the Villages here in Florida, or you can watch it live. You can watch it live if you go to the website www.ffctv.info. That's www.ffctv.info. Are you serious? Are you seriously serious? It's time to get ready. It's time to get born again. It's time to get washed in the blood. It's time to really start looking up, for your redemption is drawing nigh.